Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Creative Sports Marketing Talk. Today, I kind of want to get into something that's very important to me, content. Give you a couple of tips on content, blog content, social media content, and why, in general, content is important for your business and important for search engine optimization. So stay tuned. So, today we're going to talk about content, the importance for search engine positioning. Now, search engine positioning is a term that I like to use for search engines, and a very generic term for search engine optimization. The position of keywords and where you rank in the search engine. Now, if a lot of you don't know, search engine optimization has been around for a while. It's kind of gotten a lack when it comes to business due to the fact that we kind of have a gap between millennials and the other generations where we went basically straight from the internet starting and people doing a lot of pay-per-click advertisements and going through that, and we kind of skipped the generic search engine phase with Google and Yahoo and all of those search engine platforms and went straight to social media marketing. Now, social media marketing is a great thing if you're trying to get business. It's not going to bring, especially organically, probably a lot of your actual valuable leads that you're looking for. It's probably going to bring you more or less prospect leads. But overall, in general, today we're going to kind of talk about, I'm kind of going on a rant there, but today we're going to kind of go over how content affects SEO. So in order to understand how content affects your search engine positioning, it's important to first have a basic understanding of how the search engine works. Google and other search engines want to provide their users with the best information possible so they have a good experience. If the first result on a search links to a site that is spammy or full of false information, the user will not have a good experience and may discontinue using that search engine. That's why Google ranks sites that are authoritative, trustworthy, and useful higher than others. So with that said, that's why it's such a challenge for companies to get up there. Google can't just come to your store and say, hey, are you a good business? Do you treat customers well? You have to prove it to them by keeping your site updated, keeping it optimized, letting them know, hey, this is a platform that we're utilizing, and Google will basically give you an authoritative number. It's more so an invisible number, but there is ranking systems out there that can kind of give you a domain authority, kind of tell you where you're kind of at. What content you have on your site greatly affects whether people find it useful and trustworthy. Content should be original, accurate, and engaging. It should be a means of providing users with the information they are looking for or help them accomplishing their goals, such as making a purchase or determining a location. And that's the basics of it. Search engine optimization is meant to basically give clients information. If you watch some of my previous videos, you'll see that most of the time that the main purpose of a website is to get leads. That should be your main purpose. At the very beginning, it should be, hey, I just want something up. But over time, in our generation and the way technology is rising, your website should be the main key of what you're doing. And search engine positioning, a lot like, when you buy a house, I like to use the analogy that the location you're at is a lot like the search engine optimization. If you're in a place where you don't have too many, you're out in the middle of nowhere, no one's going to find you. If you're in the middle of the city, people are going to find you. And that's funny how that relates to search engine optimization, especially local SEO, and how you get people to find you in your area. So SEO and keywords. In addition to being well written, free of grammatical errors, and useful, content should also be easy for search engines to read. This is where the keyword optimization that I always talk about comes into play. Keywords are words or phrases that people use when they type a search into Google. Hence why we call it optimization. It's an ongoing process of finding certain words that your visitors are looking at, and there's a lot more into it than that. But essentially, you want the phrases or words that people are searching for to appear on your site so that Google finds your site to be a good match. However, this does not always mean that your keywords should be stuffed into the content, and this SEO tactic is kind of out of date, and Google finds it more harmful than good, especially if your users aren't engaged with it. So that's kind of the basis of search engine positioning. Now, why is that important for you and your business, especially in this day and age? Let's look at you. Let's say that you're a brick and mortar. Let's just go about you're a brick and mortar. You have tried paid advertisement, or right now you get most of your leads through magazine ads, billboard. Think of SEO as a more warmer approach. Now, outbound, there's always a time for billboards, there's always time for magazine, but you can't track that. So if you kind of look at it in a way of, hey, if I hire a company to make sure my keywords are rising, and I have them optimize my content so it's not just engaging to the viewers and they can get a general idea of what you sell, but that makes them a warmer lead. So you have multiple things going on here. So your content, for one, the user, think about it from your user perspective. If they're searching for, let's say that you're a lawyer. Just say you're a lawyer in the area. Actually, let's go ahead, and since we're a sports marketing firm, let's go sports. Let's say that you're a sports team in the area, a minor league sports team, or even better, let's say you're an apparel company. Let's say you're an apparel company that gives gear that sells gear for athletes. Now, how are you gonna get those leads to find you? Your search engine positioning should be set where you target not just your products but your services based around maybe you repair cleats. Let's say you repair cleats and you're in a general area. Let's say you're since I live in the Phoenix area, let's just say Phoenix. So cleat repair, Phoenix, Arizona. Now, that might not be a term that people are searching, but it's going to be pretty damn close because people that are in the area, even if they're in Mesa. So there's a strategy behind it, but the more you target your general area, especially if you're brick and mortar, if you're paying $2,000-$3,000 a month to rent a place out, please utilize search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, yes, it's going to cost you 1, 2, 3, 4, as much money as you want to spend to kind of outbeat your competitors, the better it's just going to be. You're going to get more warmer leads. People are going to find you on the web. If your positioning is on the first page of Google, then you're going to have a chance where people are going to be able to click your links easier. And that's really what it comes down to. The higher Google recognizes you, the higher your keywords will rank. The higher your keywords rank, the more likely someone will search for that, click that, go to your website, and excuse me, the more likely people will go onto your website, read the information because it's good and it's quality information, and the more likely they will then call you or purchase the product. If you're in the general area, they might find you. Some of the tactics we use is we implement certain social media platforms onto the website. We create a funnel with a landing page to try to grab emails, things of that nature. But for the most part, we want to target people in your general area because that's where you're selling. People are driving to you, and then eventually your strategy just keeps growing. It's not a one-time thing. It's a, hey, let's now start focusing on maybe the surrounding areas to try to grab some of that target. So when people are in Mesa or Chandler or any other areas, depending on which city you're in, they're willing to drive. And that's part of your brand recognition. If you have a really good brand, people will start recognizing that. And when they search you, Google will recognize that too. Being a brand is definitely helping with search engine positioning these days because people might start searching for instance, Tommy Jones's cleat repair, or cleats are us. I'm just using these as an example, but and so those are the kind of things that you eventually over time, and the longer your website is up and the more keywords you're ranking for. And you always start smaller because your domain authority and the way Google recognizes you is smaller. So they'll give you keywords like that have no volume. So if there's no volume keywords, which basically means how many people are searching for them a month, and there's no competition, you could rank number one for those keywords easy. Yes, people are still searching for them, but not as much because you're in a city, you're in a state as the world. So those are the ones you first start doing as your domain authority rises, and you kind of slowly move up in the rankings. So we offer some of these services. If you'd like to reach out and talk to us about it further, if not, we could give you some tips and tricks on our website. We have a few blog posts that we can recognize. There's the blog post, a link below, that gives you a more informative understanding of search engine positioning. You can also subscribe to us, and we can kind of help you understand the importance of some keywords and how it works. I always recommend you do keyword research when you're developing your website, or if you're redeveloping a website, it's probably the best time to do some on-page optimization and off-page. There's a lot that goes into it, but the generic basis is keywords, domain authority higher. Some people might argue with me. Some of the SEO experts might argue with me that that's domain authority doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Yes, it doesn't really exist, but it does give you a nice number compared to your competitors to kind of rank where you're at. There's a lot of other factors that kind of place into it, and that's why search engine is, to me, so fascinating, because it's a strategy. It's a strategy. It's not paid advertisement. It's not like, hey, this one costs more than this one. This word costs more than this word. Or, hey, I'm trying to bid against my competitor on this word. Dang it, you might be getting good client retention and bring in good clients that, maybe someone's not utilizing Cleat Repair, for instance. Cleat Repair Phoenix. If no one's utilizing that, damn this, I'd be using it. I'd be using that, and I'd start focusing around the bigger volume keywords that rank later on. But overall, that's the basis of search engine positioning. If you have any more questions, reach out in the comments below, or go to this blog post and reach out from the website. I want to thank you again, and you guys all have a good day.